Now at the time Dublin was amidst a boom, the population was dramatically growing after all. It's the second city of both Britain and Ireland. Now there were well over 100 breweries and distilleries throughout the city, but many would fade away in due course. Although few to guess at the time that Dublin's north side would gain an institution that would last here almost 2 centuries. The John Jameson distillery here on Boasters. John Jameson's wife Margaret embraced the spirit of the city nephew. They also embraced each other too as well. And with hard work and innovation, the distillery would grow, and so would their family. Together, they had 16 innovation and unmatched quality. This is what the distillery looked like in 1820. Between 1880 and 1905, it was firing on all cylinders. I would like to say here on all of that constant. Now, while the name John Jameson appears here in the label, the ownership of the whiskey legacy is sure. If you look here at the bottom of my bottle, you see two barrelmen embossed in the glass. Please represent. Thank you, folks. Come on in. About 5 or 6 feet today. Hello, Christine. Hello, Christine. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
That's a very quick hello. About 5 or 6 feet table, folks. There's some of them over here, and there's some of them here as well. Some of them here as well. Sure, that's another tour for another day. Now, whiskey making is a combination of both art and science. Now, whiskey makers down in Middleton Cork overlook several processes. Now, next to Jameson calls it barley. Now, the barley that we use is generally grown within 100 mile radius of the distillery. But also, we use premium non-genetic. Now, John Jameson did not invent distillation. However, he did perfect it, and this is how he went about it. So, beside me here, barrels of wash bill. We will wash both malted and malted barley. At the possible is heated and begins to boil up. The alcohol vapors rise up, escape through the neck, leaving the water behind. Now, the escape is quite short-lived because it goes through condensing and reliquefies. This goes on for any alcohol distillation. Although this is getting close, it doesn't have as smooth that John Jameson wanted. John Jameson knew that triple distillation process could get twice as smooth. So last off, spirit still, third distillation. Now, by using these traditional style copper pot stills, we can create a style of whiskey known as pot stills. It's made of a mash of both malted and malted barley. It's a quintessential way of Irish whiskey as always. So go back to your workstations there. And you see in front of you got some white cards. Would you like to pick up one white card, and in front of you left the alcohol to evaporate. To the left of the alcohol to evaporate, and then bring it to your nose to smell it. Now this is going to be quite robust, quite aromatic, quite full bodied with a sense of barley. And this is now the distillate comes from the pot stills, and this comes out at approximately 85% alcohol by volume. So please, no lick in the card. And just put the card in the bin there beside you. Now if you pick up another card and go to the spritzer on the left that says Colin Spill, and again, if you would like to spray it on the card, and again, wave it around, allow for the alcohol to evaporate, and then bring it to your nose, and then smell it. This is going to be much more light and much more delicate with a floral essence, some sweet notes. And this distillate now coming from the largely imported both from the USA and from Spain, where the previous employment has been aged in American bourbon cask and in sherry butts. Now the American seasoned bourbon casks have some unique flavour profiles, gives great character. So lean in and smell it there, yeah? So the flavour profile for this is toasted wood, it's vanilla, it's sweetness, nuttiness, dried fruits, almost Irish Christmassy cake. So now that this new postal distillate and new grain spirit reaction occurs is great characteristic to our whiskey. Now if you step back from your station, see the flask in front of you? See the shift in the colour as the years go by, as it takes on more nectar evaporation, which is known as the angel share. That equates to 30,000 bottles in one day. That's one bottle every 3 seconds. So you can imagine how very happy. Imagine coming to Dublin and you're not ready for tasting. Imagine that. So folks, could you gather your belongings please, and you'd like to follow me now. Could I get you to move right around, please? Thanks very much, Jeff. Thank you. Move right around, please, sir. Thank you. We get everybody in as well. You might have to switch it. I have to send you over here. I can sit here. Sit there, yeah, ground now. Now, first of all, folks, just make sure. Could you just make sure you all have whiskey in front of you, okay? So do. So we all. Now, first of all, have you all got whiskey in front of you?
Yes.
Yes, an affirmative. Have you all got water in front of you?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So now I've engaged with the Jameson story. We've almost thought this moment would never come, but we're here now to taste whiskey. So what we're going to do this afternoon, we're going to do what we call a comparative tasting. So what I mean by that is we're going to compare the Jameson Whisky in the middle to Scotch whisky. Its size and shape is ideal for a whisky tasting here this afternoon. Now, to get fully started, can you all turn to the side at 45 degrees, roll around your fingers for a few seconds, then I want you to hold it level and straight up into the light. And you see inside the glass there's a film or residue flowing down the inside. Can you all see that? Yes. These droplets are known as the lead. But because we're here in Ireland, we're much more poetic. We call them tears. I know, it's very sad. Now, it's not set in stone. These are slim and fast as a light style of whiskey. If it's slow and thick, it's much heavier or oilier type of whiskey. It's your expectations of the texture of the whiskey as well. And see the colour's quite dark. Remember we spoke about the shift of the colour as the years go by, as it takes on more of the wood characteristics. But also, if you're at home in a pub, quite close to where you live, and if people see you doing this, they think you know what you're doing. So now, next is for aroma. I want you to agitate the whiskey slightly, awaken the flavours. I want you to bring it to your nose and inhale it with the mouth open to allow for the aroma to go to the back of the nose as if you're almost tasting it, but not just yet. So what are you smelling? Vanilla? Floral essence? Pepper? Spices? And it's on the tip of your tongue, and you can't get it out. We have it all etched right around here. Think of everything here in Jameson. Now next is for tasting. So what I'd encourage you to do, when you take a sip of the whiskey, the Jameson leaves some behind so we can make the comparative tasting. When you take a sip, allow it to pass around the inside of your mouth for about 4 or 5 seconds before you swallow. In other words, allow for your receptors, that's your taste buds, to capture the flavour profile. Allow for the alcohol to fade away, and the subtle flavours to fade in as well. And it avoids that alcohol burn, which puts a lot of people off whiskey as well. So in your own time, sláinte amach go tailte, sláinte. Now you find it's a very smooth taste in whiskey, it doesn't catch in the throat or the chest, being distilled 3 times. And if you're picking up that toasted wood and that vanilla, that's coming from the seasoned bourbon cask. That dried fruits, nothing is coming from the sherry seasoned cask. That full mouth feel, that silkiness, that peppery wood spice, that comes from the malted barley. Every part of the process contributes to the final flavour of the whiskey as well. Jameson is one of the most modern distilleries in the world, but still prides itself on creating every individual bottle of whiskey in the most crafted way. Jameson is a very versatile whiskey. It can be enjoyed with water with ice, or a signature cocktail, Jameson, ginger ale and wine. So folks, can you all stay hydrated please and drink some water right? Now this time you can pick up the Scotch whisky in your left hand, Jameson right hand. Scotch whisky left hand, Jameson right hand. Now before we continue, would you like to guess what's the leading Scotch whisky by volume worldwide? Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker. 12-year-old black label blended whiskey as against Jameson between 5 and 7 years. So now smell the Jameson, smell the Scotch whisky, note the difference now. Take a sip of Jameson, leaving some behind, and in your own time, drink the Scotch whisky. Sláinte amach go tailte, sláinte. Shall I repeat that now? Smell Jameson, smell the Scotch whisky, note the difference. Take a sip of Jameson, leaving some behind, and in your own time, drink the Scotch whisky. Sláinte. Now, besides the fact that we spell it differently, here in Ireland we spell whiskey with the E, when in Scotland they don't. But it's very smoky, very peaty. Cast your mind back how they dry the barley. Use peat or turf, which impart that smoky, peaty smell. But also they're both blended whiskies. Jameson is a blended whiskey of 2 styles of whiskey in the confines of single distillery. So that means a full control of guess what the leading American whiskey by volume worldwide.
Jack Daniels.
You know what? You all say that like a prayer. It is indeed Jack Daniels. So now smell the Jameson, smell the American whiskey, note the perfume smell now. Take a sip of Jameson, leaving some behind, and in your own time, drink the American whiskey. Sláinte them up, put it down to sláinte. Now, it's quite a difference here. It's very sweet with a sense of wood. The sweetness comes from the fact that the main ingredients to make American whiskey is, of course, corn. But geographically, corn goes well in the USA. But also the sense of wood comes from the fact that they mature the whiskies in virgin oak casks. So if you remember, Jameson used seasoned bourbon casks and seasoned sherry casks. And also what's quite apparent, the American whiskey is still one.
Dear Charlotte, happy birthday to you.
Wonderful. You'll have to show that now when she's 21.
Exactly.
Folks, now, can you all rate your Jameson glasses? We're going to make it now a toast to our family motto, Cindy Matthew, and for whatever reason why you're here, and of course to baby Charlotte, 6 months old. Wow. Wow. On 3, you're ready now with Cindy Matthew. On 3, Cindy Matthew. 3, Cindy Matthew. Sláinte. So now, folks, we're going to make our way downstairs to the barman's hut to get our dainty grog. Now, not like the poor men that worked here, you have a choice. You get the Jameson straight up, Jameson in our signature cocktail, Jameson ginger ale lime, or if you just only wanted the ginger ale, that's no problem. If you're thinking about buying Jameson whiskey today, I can recommend 2 Jameson whiskies, which are only exclusive to our visitors here in the distillery, can't be bought anywhere else, can't be bought online, cannot be bought at the airport, and certainly cannot be bought in the black market. Now, this Jameson Distillery edition, you can also personalise, put your name on it. There now, an excuse to buy a bottle for Charlotte. Or some people might put on it, hands off. Our Jameson Black Barrel cask strength, that's 60.2% alcohol by volume. That's 120.4 proof. You can bottle yourself and also personalise it. Folks, before we finish up, anybody questions? Well, other than that, my name is Kevin. Thank you very much for visiting Jesus. Thanks, folks. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks very much. This way here.